The next thing to understand is that each complex number has many exponential forms. This is actually just a natural consequence of what you know about how polar coordinates work. Recall that when we were talking about polar coordinates, we said that an angle such as pi over 2 actually has many different ways of describing it. In other words, um, if I if I do an extra turn around around the circle, I get back to the same point. So even though pi over 2 is a different number from 5 pi over 2, pi over 2 and 5 pi over 2 turns around the unit circle will take you to the same point. If I start here, turn pi over 2, I get there. If I add 2 pi to that and go here, then I've gone 5 pi over 2 radians, but gotten to the same point. If I do it again, um, then I've gone 9 pi over 2 radians, but I've still gotten to the same point. So consider, for example, the numbers e to the I pi, e to the I pi plus 2 pi, and e to the I pi plus 4 pi. So you can see is that in the first case, if I graph e to the I pi, what I do is I turn pi around the unit circle and walk 1 unit in that 1 unit in the direction that I got to, and that takes me to -1. On the other hand, if I do e to the I pi plus 2 pi, then I know I could have written 3 pi, but I'm just doing it this way. So I go pi, and then I go another 2 pi around the unit circle, which gives me the same direction. In other words, I now look where I landed. I landed on the ray that goes that way. I walk 1 unit in that direction, and I still get to the same point, -1. And as you can see, I could really do the same thing with e to the I, not times I, e raised to the power I of pi plus 4 pi. In this case, what I do is I've already got an extra 2 pi around the unit circle. Now I'm going to go another 2 pi around the unit circle, giving me a total of 4 pi. So I started at pi, and then I walked twice around the circle, ending up in the exact same place. Once again, you walk 1 unit in the direction that you've arrived at, you end up at -1. So all of them are equal to -1. This suggests sort of a cyclic property of the exponential form of complex numbers, which is that I can add 2 pi, whatever angle I use, I can just add 2 pi to that angle, and I end up with the exact same complex number as I did before I added the 2 pi. And I can do it as many times as I want. I can add 4 pi, I can add 6 pi, I can add 8 pi, 10 pi. It doesn't matter because I'm just taking an additional trip around the circle.